Hey there everybody, you are Supreme Toys here again. Today we're going to do a DC Multiverse review. Double review. I went by Walmart today and they just happened to have some of their gold labels on sale for $15 a piece. Now I don't typically buy a lot of the DC Multiverse figures. They were hitting pretty hard in the very beginning when McFarlane was releasing them. They had some pretty great sculpts. And then they sort of petered out for me after a while. They just weren't really connecting with me. So there was a good while where I didn't buy any of the Multiverse figures. And occasionally they'll go on clearance at GameStop or Target or Walmart even. And even then, I just could not justify buying a lot of the figures because they just were iffy in quality to me as far as paint apps and articulation. And some of the mega figures I was very ecstatic to get, but once they came out, the sculpts were just very weak compared to some figures I already have. So today, I particularly picked these guys out. Not because they're gold labels, but because I really like these two figures. I really enjoy the occasional Batman and Superman figure. In fact, when I did buy Multiverse stuff regularly, I was typically buying one of the big three, Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman. And these are right up my alley. So first off, we've got the Eradicator here. This is the modern version of Eradicator, where I believe he's a robot of some type. I'm not too familiar with the most recent comics. However, I did like the Eradicator design back in the 90s. I always enjoyed the doppelganger Superman characters like Cyborg, Superman, and Bizarro, and Eradicator here. So I'm always excited to see these little Superman-ish characters come to life in plastic. Now, this particular modern version of Eradicator is a little bit different than the classic version, which had a normal flesh skin tone with this suit and typical visor. Eradicator started off as a device, a Kryptonian device with sort of like a little mini computer, and it sort of affected the mind of Superman, and he became sort of like a physical embodiment of Eradicator. And when he powered up, his skin tone would sometimes turn black like this. He did not have this suit though. So in the 90s, when Eradicator became its own character and got its own body, it adopted its own uniform and wore the cape and the symbol. And I guess that they just sort of like combined those two formats into the more modern black Eradicator here, which I think looks amazing. I like the design. I like the black on blue on red and the gold visor. It just fits really well. As the box says, this is from the Shockwave series. And here we are with Eradicator in a comic style. Next we have this here Batman. Now, I am not familiar with this version of Batman at all. But it's a vampire Batman. There have been many iterations of Batman with vampiric powers at some point, or fighting vampires and stuff like that. So it's a very appealing gimmick for the character. It just meshes well with his theme. Oh, let's make Batman a vampire. This is from the more recent DC vs. Vampires comic series, where I assume that they fight vampires and Batman somehow becomes infected. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments. So I'm definitely not planning to keep these guys in the package. So we're going to go ahead and pop them out. Alright, that was a chore. Eradicator was really in there. There's not a lot going on with this guy as far as paint applications. His visor is of course painted gold. His chest is painted yellow with this red rubbery overlay glued onto it. His cape is just a flat, matty red plastic, which I don't think I really like the cape that much. And he just has the blue striping painted down his chest and pants. There's nothing painted on the back, and I'm not sure if they intended to paint anything on the back. But I feel like this should have been blue. The hair is a slightly different shade than the skin. It's like a gray, blackish gray instead of a flat black. Let's look at his articulation. He's got a head swivel. He's got the ab and waist crunch, which are pretty good. The waist and ab bobbles for these figures can be quite unsightly at times, but I don't think they look too bad depending on the character. He has the butterfly joint on the shoulders, so his arms can sort of go back and forth, as well as the swivel and hinge, and then the bicep swivel, and then double jointed elbow, and then he has his swivel hinged ball jointed wrists, and this all mirrors over to the other side. No stuck joints. And then on the legs, he has these very nifty little thigh cuts that swivel and hinge and are hidden really well by the rubbery pelvis piece. He's got a double jointed knees. No cut here, but he does have a swivel, toe, and hinge and rocker on the feet. So I gotta say, as far as articulation's concerned, the multiverse figures kind of hit it out the park. You're gonna be able to get a lot of dynamic poses with these figures. And the more dynamic you can get it, the better that cape looks. But if he's just standing straight up, that cape kind of looks wonky. He also comes with his stand, which every DC Multiverse figure comes with the embossed DC logo. And these stands are very helpful for these figures because typically they do not stand very well on their own. I always use the stands when I display these figures. He also comes with these two alternate hands. Now, I've seen another review months ago where the guy said that these were Cheeto finger hands, and I could not agree more. I feel like these are just a wasted accessory. It would have been a lot better to just give him, instead of these two hands, two like pulsing energy blasts on his hands that you could have fit over the fists, and they would have looked fine. He also comes with the trading card, like all the other DC Multiverse figures come with. I love these things. I love trading cards. This is going to go straight into my little binder full of trading cards. The art looks good. It's got a little bio on the back. Real name, not applicable. A Kryptonian AI superweapon, the Eradicator eliminated contaminating alien influences on Earth. It built the Fortress of Solitude before trying to convert the planet into New Krypton. It took Superman's form after Doomsday killed him, and, on his resurrection, melded with Star Labs scientist David Connor. After joining Hank Henshaw's Superman Revenge Squad, the Eradicator served Zod's family. Speaking of Hank Henshaw, that's another multiverse figure I will buy if you guys release it. I need a cyborg Superman. I love that character. It's been a while since I had a multiverse figure on my shelf. I'm just going to put him on a shelf. I just love the black on blue on red. It just looks so good. And that little hint of yellow and gold make it pop. For $15, which is what these guys were on sale for, which is not very typical for newly released figures. These guys just popped up on the shelves at my local Walmart. I know that they've been out for a while, but they just showed up and they were already on clearance. So we're going to set old Eradicator off to the side and bring in Vampire Batman. All right. He was really in there. Like, I hate how they fit those capes into those bubbles. Let's take a look at this head sculpt. Look how nasty them teeth is. I love it. He's got a little like blood scar on his head, red eyes, the vampiric colored skin, Those bloody sharp teeth. Looks great. This bat emblem is sculpted out. I love this utility belt. The utility belt looks fantastic. All the pouches are very well sculpted, very well painted. Not a lot of complaints. He's got a little bit of blood splatter on his hands. I don't so much care for that, but he looks really good. I like this cape a lot better than Eradicator's. It's got that flowy look, but is stationary, so you can have some very good poses with him. It's very rubbery, so with some heat, you could actually manipulate this into some very decent poses. As far as articulation is concerned, that head, he's got some great head articulation with that bobble. His shoulders are also on the butterfly joint with the hinge and rotation. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. The swivel ball jointed hands on a hinge. I have issues with these hands sometimes because the way the ball is situated, you have to kind of finagle it to swivel it to the direction you want it. And then it mirrors over to the other side. Look how smooth that articulation is right there. It just flows so well on those arms. A lot of the cuts don't look that good, like I've mentioned before, but the articulation flows very well with these figures. And of course, he has the upper torso and lower torso crunches, which work really good. Man, they just really... McFarlane's quality has vastly improved over the years. And of course, the same type of hinged hips that Eradicator have. Double jointed knees. No boot cut, but he does have the swivel hinge ball joints on the feet with the rocker ankle and the toe articulation. I do not care for the toe articulation. I feel like it's not needed on most of these figures and oftentimes hinders the stability of the figure in poses. Now, these universe figures would be even more top-notch if McFarlane would figure out how to do pegless joints so that you don't see these ugly little pegs popping out on the skin. But I love this brown on black suit. This is such a nice variant color for a Batman. You usually don't see this kind of color. He comes with this awesome little battle axe with a bat emblem. It's painted black. This silver metallic painted battle axe. It's very well detailed. It's got this nice little spike on the end. It's semi-pliable. Like, I wouldn't bend it too much because you will break this. I can tell you will break it. But the point is, like, it's very kind of soft. Let's see how it goes in his hand. Fits in the hand very easily. It looks really cool. It looks really cool. I like this Batman. And, of course, he also comes with his DC stand, which we are going to have to use because he wants to, that cape wants to push him forward. He looks great. I love this. This is a great Batman. The one thing I appreciate about the DC Multiverse line when it started and so far as it's progressed is they're very heavy on variants and alternate universe versions of these superheroes. And I'm happy to get those because they were never really touched on that often, you know, as a kid growing up. He also comes with a trading card. Let's get this awesomely gruesome Batman face. And he's got a bio. Let's find out a little bit about him. I'm going to learn with you. Real name, Bruce Wayne. As a child, Bruce Wayne watched as his parents were brutally killed in Gotham City's crime alley. Traumatized by their deaths, he devoted his life to becoming the world's greatest weapon against crime, the Batman. To become the ultimate vigilante, the Dark Knight disciplined his mind and body to reach the pinnacle of mental and physical superiority in his relentless pursuit of justice. And we learned absolutely nothing. I figured it would tell us about the vampire version, but they must have copied and pasted that off another card. Anyhow, this guy looks great. I love the posability. I love the battle axe. I love the suit colors. I like the little bit. They don't overdo it with like the blood stuff, but it's just enough. If they were going to do the blood stuff, though, they should have put a little bit of blood on the axe. Knowing McFarlane, they'll do a alternate version of this. It's like bloody variant. This cape, though, I really like the cape. It flows very well. I'm always happy to get like a really cool variant of Batman or Superman, and today I'm happy because I got not one but two. I consider Eradicator a type of Superman. I always look forward to see what other cool figures McFarlane puts out as far as the DC line is concerned. As I mentioned before, they're really hit and miss with what appeals to me. I'm glad I'm not a completionist with this line, or else I would be in very dire straits right now. It's not very often I find the line that I'm happy to just cherry pick, and this Multiverse series has been right up my alley as far as cherry picking is concerned. This has been an unboxing and review of McFarlane Toys, DC Multiverse, Eradicator, and Batman, DC vs. Vampires, Gold Label action figures. And I am UR Supreme Toys. Thank you so much for watching.